Well, hi there. Warm welcome. You're watching Decoding Now, and I'm Meghna Deka. Well, with the FIFA World Cup entering its business end, there are few voices better placed to decode the beautiful game than Bhaichung Bhutia. Yes, the man who put India on the global football map and inspired a generation of footballers. But who has also impressed him the most? That's the question. Who's his pick to lift the trophy? Is the Messi Ronaldo? Between the two of them, who's the greatest of all times? That's the question. Is that debate really settled? Well, in this session of Decoding Now, super exclusive, Bhaichung Bhutia is going to be joining us for an unfiltered conversation on the past, the present, and the future of the beautiful game. But first, let's get your roundup of the FIFA World Cup on and off the field. Well, Egypt's World Cup dream ended in heartbreak. But was it football that really knocked them out, or was it a controversial refereeing call? That's the question. Meanwhile, a red card, a presidential reaction, and then a stunning reversal. Did Donald Trump influence FIFA's decision to overturn Folarin Balogun's red card? Well, that's also the big question. Was the foul play really from the side of Trump? Bhaichung, I want you to answer that. But I also want your views on the next big story, which is FIFA President Infantino and Donald Trump, the bonhomie that the two of them shared all throughout the World Cup. Has football's top boss become too close to be fair to America's most powerful politician? How fair is this world's FIFA World Cup? I'm going to be putting that question across to you, Bhaichung, as well. And also, dreaming of the World Cup, it is one thing. Earning a place in it is quite another. What must India change on and off the pitch, in the game, in the mindset, to become a genuine World Cup contender? That's the question. Also, as Ronaldo and Neymar now bow out, Haaland, Mbappe, and a new generation are going to be taking center stage. Is this the World Cup where football's old order officially will be giving way to the new? Bhaichung, those questions are coming your way. So let's begin. So without much ado, let me go across to none other than Bhaichung Bhutia, God's gift to Indian football, as many have called him. And what a time to have you on the show, Bhaichung. We've witnessed what many are calling the end of an era. It was a very teary, if I can say that, curtains down on Ronaldo, then Neymar. But on the positive side, of course, you have the likes of Haaland now dragging Norway to the World Cup quarterfinals for the first time ever. There's, of course, Mbappe, the French general, who might just be guiding the Les Blues to a third straight World Cup final. So the kings seem to be taking their final bows. You have the new emperors, which are all ready to claim the throne. Is this one of the most exciting phases of football that you have seen, especially at a global stage, at the stage of World Cup, where the change of guard is becoming official, would you say?
Yeah, I think it's, in a way, part of life as well. You have great stars, legends, and then obviously age catches up, and then you'll see new generation of players coming in. And I think that happens in life, and it's sad that, yes, Cristiano, including Messi, could be his last World Cup after Argentina wins or loses any time around. And we saw, Mo Salah yesterday out. So, yeah, in a way, I think these are the players who, influenced a lot of young generations to play football. My generation would be Maradona, where, I played football because of Maradona in 86. So I think these players have contributed so much to the game. I think Ronaldo, Messi, has been, I think, one of the biggest icons and brand ambassador of the sport, and really influenced a lot of young kids to love the sport, football, and also play the game. So yes, we will miss them. But again, as life goes on, there will be new stars, and football will keep going and producing again big stars in years to come.
The only constant, they say, is change, and perhaps, well, it's time to move on. In football doesn't mean that the era of greats have ended, but underdogs suddenly springing a surprise. Teams which haven't been part of it now are in the quarterfinals for the first time, many of them. So who's your money on?
I'm covering for a sports channel here and for the World Cup, United Sports, and in fact, we had a show, and my list for 4 semi-finalists was given and shown on the show as well. And my four semi-finalists was France, Spain, England, and Argentina. These were the four teams. But now, slightly, I have a doubt only with Argentina because I saw last two games with Cabo Verde and yesterday with Egypt. I'm having a slight doubt if Argentina is going to make it to the semi-finals. They're facing Switzerland. And I have a slight doubt that Argentina might just not make it to the semi-finals. So Messi could be actually out, and in the quarterfinals it might not seem. So my four semi-finalists, where I picked up live on a live television show, was these four teams. But now a slight change is that I feel that Argentina, looking at last two matches, the way their weaknesses, their struggle
It was
with
touch and
the
go
Cabo Verde
yesterday.
and Egypt. Yes, it looks like they might struggle to make it to semi-final against Switzerland.
Okay, I'm going to come back to Argentina and Messi, but then recently you had also rated Harry Kane as the best player of the World Cup so far. So ahead of Messi and Mbappe.
For me, all-time five top strikers in the world, all-time, Harry Kane would be there. And one of the best leaders in entire world football. If you have to captain, if you make 11 out of this World Cup, 11 footballers, 11 all-stars, in that Harry Kane is going to be my captain. So I think he's a great player, great striker. I think we talk of not exactly Messi, but if you talk of Ronaldo, you need a lot of players to really provide him that assist and score. But with Harry Kane, I think he can create opportunities where you don't really expect to create. So he does not only score goals, he creates his own chances to score goals. At the same time, I think he's also a great team player who can assist and let other people score. And we saw that in this World Cup, the assist for Jude Bellingham in the match against Mexico, and a lot of other assists. Though Messi also does that, Messi is genius also because he does score goals and creates for other teammates.
Yeah, Messi does brilliant assists as well. In fact, you met him during the event which had happened, I believe, in Delhi. You had met him. So having interacted with what many are calling one of the greatest players of all time, of the beautiful game, what is the impression that someone like a Messi left on you? And if you had to pick between Ronaldo, whom you've spoken about, and Messi, between the two of them, the greatest legend of this era, who would it be?
I think Messi is definitely what he's done to the sport, and Ronaldo as well. I think this two has been the greatest ambassador of the sport.
No, you have to pick one, Bhaichung.
But because of, I think, players like them today, even in India, I think a lot of young kids play football because of Cristiano and Messi. And for me to really pick one of them, again, I look in football in a very, very different way. And I look as a player, I look more into technical matter and all that stuff. So really to pick, say, this player is the best and this player is best would be very, very unfair, because if I was a manager and had to choose a player, and if both were in 20 years old, then obviously I would pick Ronaldo, because Ronaldo has got quality where he's shown and scored goals everywhere, and he's been successful in all the different leagues. Messi for me is the greatest of all time, because with Messi, I think as a manager, you need to build team around him. You need that kind. So for a manager, it will be very difficult to build a team around one player, and you can only be lucky sometimes, like a Barcelona team which he had when they played tiki-taka. So it's very difficult to compare which one to pick. But for me, if I have to settle greatest of all time for me to choose, would be Brazilian Ronaldo, because for me, I think he was better than both of them.
Well, fair enough, fair enough. Now, Bhaichung, you had predicted that Portugal continue to play as individuals rather than teams, something that you've said in the past, that it could be Cristiano Ronaldo's last World Cup. Now that Portugal is out, what do you think Ronaldo's legacy will be remembered for beyond the trophies and records? And I ask you that because you specifically right now spoke about the inspiration values. At times, it's not just about the statistics, isn't it? It's about how you build love in the minds of people for the game, even if you're not actively playing, even as a spectator, to build the game and the legacy.
You know, I have a 16-year-old son, and he plays football as well. For me, when I tell him, I only give him my biggest example is Ronaldo. I think that is what you need to follow. And the discipline, you know, at the age of 41 to play World Cup, which is the highest level of football with the best players around the world, and to be fit and play like that, you don't do it only because on the field. I think you do it off the field. that focus, the discipline, the commitment, and the sacrifice what you do it for the sport. And that is what Ronaldo has done it. He's made it look so easy, because for us, for footballers, 35 used to be an age where we said that's the end of an era. Now Messi and Ronaldo, it just made 35 as a young player. 40 has become the next line where you become old. So that is the kind of legacy is left. The fitness, the commitment, and yeah, I think he's been inspiration. He's been the biggest star. He's been. Well, I think he's going to be as one of the biggest legends of football in years to come.
In fact, that's one of the greatest talking points this World Cup. And I'm not sure if that happened in the past as well. Maybe because how social media now is in everyone's part and parcel of everyone's lives, that we know about the fitness levels. What all Ronaldo does for his fitness levels, and even Haaland. His reels are literally going viral. And it's amazing how fitness plays such a big role. Or is it now showing up as the biggest role? Or is this something which we have just discovered now, that they actually put in a lot into their fitness, even more than the technique and the game perhaps?
Definitely, I think fitness is one of the key factors and key success to your performance, be it in football or any other sport. But with football, there are a lot of things that needs to really keep you at the top of the game, and fitness is one of it. And another, obviously, with fitness is the speed. And with Ronaldo, this World Cup, I think he's not that 20-year Ronaldo where he could take past 3 defenders, run and score those, beautiful goals. I think with age, it does catch up. And he's fit, but with the speed, with the age, you lose that speed, you lose those reflexes, and that we could see in this World Cup. So, yeah, I think fitness is something which I think you need to be on top of it. But, yes, for a successful footballer, I think there are a lot of things, your mindset, your mentality, your speed, your vision, your, reading of the game, being how smart, how quick the decisions you take and what decision you take and the right decision you take as well. So, a lot of things come into it. But, yeah, I think with Ronaldo, I felt slightly bad, because obviously he has to accept that it does catch up with everybody, and he's not Ronaldo, 20-year-old who can beat 3 defenders, because at the age of 41 he's fit, but his speed does lack. So somewhere down the line, I think Portugal had that problem, and at the same time, I think he also could not perform to what his potentials were, because he set that standard to all of us during his peak days. So we think of those Ronaldo at this peak days, which does not happen, and it got a little disappointing at that.
Well, I do wish he had a better send-off, don't we all? I mean, this would have been the perfect swan song, but unfortunately it ended in tears. But one person who doesn't seem to have that problem, and there were so many question marks raised, was that of Messi. Just last night, what we saw, what a football match that was. That is one of the best that perhaps many have seen, that we would see in days to come. Argentina, sensational 3-2 comeback, with Messi, of course, showing the way. Where does that match rank amongst the greatest FIFA World Cup thrillers that you've ever watched? What would you say about it?
Again, I think it was a great comeback, especially in the last 10 minutes, remaining 10 to 12 minutes, they scored the first goal.
Yep.
And then they came with superb Messi equalizer and then went on to win. Again, I do look into more as a player and work on TV technical part. I was very surprised the way Argentina has been playing in the last 2 minutes. They are struggling. It might be to all the Argentina and Messi fans, what a great comeback, what a performance, what an exciting. It was a great comeback, it was a great excitement. But it wasn't a game where they had to struggle between Cabo Verde against Egypt. But this team looks like they are struggling a bit at the moment. And we could see, I personally could see a lot of weaknesses in Argentina's side. And I strongly feel against a team like Switzerland, if they go down 2-0 like Egypt, Switzerland would not give them a chance. So I feel that match against Switzerland is going to be tough. In fact, they might go out of the World Cup against Switzerland.
Oh, wow. That'll be an interesting one, because they did start out as favourites. But yes, the struggle is for real. We saw it yesterday as well, almost written off till the last 10 minutes clocked in. But one of the biggest talking points, and we have to discuss this because it's all been about the refereeing. Now, Egypt believes that the disallowed goal, the ignored penalty appeals, all of that, the several 50-50 decisions, all of that went Argentina's way. Where do you weigh in on that? Do you think it is just simply the nature of high-pressure knockout games, as we have seen in the past as well, or do you think there was some bias in it? Where do you stand?
I think when you spoke of referee, yes, I think that VAR and the referee has been a big controversy in this World Cup.
Yes.
And yesterday's match as well, I think there was a huge controversy on the goal that Egypt scored and was disallowed through
Yes.
VAR. But I felt that the decision was right. If you go by the law, there was a foul that happened to Martinez in the attacking third towards the Egypt defense area. And that was the same foul that went on that became a build-up on the run with Hassan and Zico scoring it. So if you look at the replay, I think there was a slight foul. There was a pull of the jersey. There was a slight touch in the foot as well, and that same movement went on to become goal. So I think if you're going by the law, there was a foul in that, and I agree with the VAR decision. But I also agree that VAR has been very controversial in this World Cup.
Okay, the refereeing may be clean. What about the red card for Balogun? Do you think, and this is open knowledge now, both of them have admitted, President Trump as well as FIFA chief, both of them said that they have discussed it. They probably had a hand in revoking that ban. So refereeing aside, what do you think about the fairness in this year's FIFA World Cup? Do you think that has been compromised by the bromance, as many are calling it, between the US, which is one of the host nations, and the FIFA boss?
I think it is so unnecessary for the President Trump to interfere in what has already been given, whether it is right or wrong. The decision, once it's been given, it's been applied. I don't think and that's a technical decision. When that is being given by a referee and the match and the results have happened, I think there's no point for a president of the United States to get involved on a technical decision and try and revoke, which they revoked it as well, was very unnecessary. Yes, I agree that Balogun, when he got red card, I was covering the match, even on a live telecast, I said that was a wrong decision. Balogun should not have been given red card because he did not go intentionally to hit or kick somebody. It was on a run, and there was two players clashed, and he was on the move. And when on the move, when you're running, because it's a little difficult to explain to people who are football fans. But when you're on a run and you made that move on a run, you can't take out your foot on a big speed when you're running on a high speed or on a clash between two players.
Okay.
So I think he did tend to injure, but it was an unfair red card. But once it's given, I think we should accept it. But you can't have a government or a president interfering on a technical matter and saying it should be revoked, which is very, very unfair.
Especially if it was political in nature. But you've been talking about Cape Verde, the kind of stunning performance they've put up. They have a population of 500,000. It is ranked 67 in the FIFA rankings. India is ranked 138. They qualified for the World Cup. We didn't. What are we getting wrong here?
I think a lot of things are wrong, obviously, with sports in India. I think one thing is we need to create a sporting culture, which is very, very important. We need to have a grassroots program, which is sincere, honest, and getting results. Just not saying that, grassroots is done and tick mark on the box, which is not right. I do a grassroots football program by Bhaichung Bhutia football schools. We've been doing it for the last 15, 16 years. I think the biggest challenge for all of us as well, we need to make sure that the kids are training that which we give. But there has to be a proper long-term tournament league structure that the kids are competing. Training is very important, but the competing is also equally important for the growth of the kid. But here, when you have to do a competition, to play matches in a grassroots level, we have very less. The trainings are there, but every kid, at least once a week, they should be playing a good league system where they are competing in that environment. And we're not creating that. I think obviously challenges are there no proper body to really organize this long-term league in the grassroots level. They do a tournament grassroots for 10 days, 20 days, say a sub-junior tournament. Sub-junior tournament for under 15 would happen in the national level for 20 days. And then after that, there's nothing. What do? The kids have to be playing at least 9 to 10 months regularly. They need to be on the ground 3 to 4 hours 2 to 3 hours at least a day to become the champion. If you're just looking at just playing part-time and for a league thing is not, if you're competing for the world standard, the kids have to be playing 3-4 hours, competing, training high, and also playing a league and a structure for a longer period. I think we need to create that structure in a system which we are lacking bigly.
So if you had the opportunity to redesign Indian football, and we really appreciate what you're doing at the grassroots already, but if you have to redesign it, what are the top changes that you would like to implement immediately?
I think if you look at it, where does the footballers or any sports come from? They come from the state, or they come from district, or they come from villages, rural areas, or town, everywhere.
Right.
But they come from a state to district. You need to have a proper structure system with a training and a tournament, long-term league tournament in every areas, every villages, so that kids are training plus also competing.
Right.
They're just not playing for, say, 1 month a year, and then 11 months they have nothing. So I think these are the kind of structure system we need to create. We need to create that environment in every area. There's some kind of happening. If you look at all the good countries that are doing well, even countries like South America, where the infrastructure is not too great, facilities are same as India. But every weekend, every holidays, you see the kids around street, or even in villages, or even in slum areas in Brazil, say, you'll have in the weekend many kids going and playing tournament matches, training. You have 100 kids there. So I think that is where we need to bring in. Every weekend we need to see, like in Australia or US, where the parents are bringing kids to come and compete in a league system, where they have a lot of interest. The environment is there. The kid is looking every weekday to compete on a weekend against a club. I think that is the kind of mental setup we need to create, and obviously with good training, nurture it, identify the talent, and take it into a next level. But
so
at the moment,
that seems like a very honest answer. Because Bhaichung Bhutia, you've lived your life that way.
Which is doable.
It is doable, because essentially what I hear from you is, I love the game. Just go out and play. Let the training come in, let the infrastructure come in, with or without. Love the game is what I'm getting from you. And it's great to have you on the show today, because you've really spoken from your heart. And I'd like to thank you, not just for coming here on Times Now, on Decoding Now, but for literally dedicating your entire life to the beautiful game. You have contributed at the grassroots, at the national level, at the international level. But thank you, first and foremost, for loving the game and living the game. Perhaps that's what legends are all about. And you still are the biggest legend for us when it comes to Indian football, the god of Indian football, as many call it. Thank you so much, Bhaichung. Pleasure to have you on the show. I've got your teams here for the FIFA World Cup. I've got it all written down. I'm going to call you back on the show. We'll see how accurate you were once the World Cup finals happen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhaichung. Thank you for having us here.
Thank you so much.